Hey everybody, GP here again with a new presence tapping video. So remember, this is tapping without words, so you're not going to be repeating what I say. I will be guiding it like a guided meditation. But when you do it by yourself, you can just tap and feel and let your attention just naturally go to wherever it needs to go. You start by taking a couple of deep breaths, making the exhale longer than the inhale. As you do, let your attention sink into the body and notice whatever's present there, whatever feelings or sensations or emotions are running through there. And as you're doing the breaths, you can close your eyes and just begin to tap through the points. This is presence tapping. So you're just tapping and breathing and just noticing what's there, just allowing whatever is there as best you can. There may be some very strong emotions present. We're just going to allow them to be there. You may notice there's some emotional resistance to the emotions or sensations that are running through the body. Just notice that as well. That's also very natural. It's part of our habitual training. I'm going to ask you to make an intention here. Intention to let go of that inner fixer. Let go of the one who's always trying to fix you, improve you, make you better. Maybe it's always seeking out the latest technique. Maybe it's trying everything. It's a very natural and actually loving energy we have within ourselves. So, some distress, some problem, we want to fix it. We want to make it better. Sometimes we can get really caught up in the fixing. Can become an energy in and of itself, a very powerful force within us. We can become identified with the one who's always trying something, always trying to make something better. Which means that underneath, there's a subtle unconscious assumption that there's something essentially wrong with me. And if I just find the right method, I can fix it. I can make the broken thing whole, or at least mend it pretty well. It's a deep assumption in us. Goes all the way back to childhood and our quite natural reaction to not being adequately loved or not loved at all by our parents. Child very naturally, energetically, even before you can think, will decide that there's something wrong with me. And if I try real hard, I can fix it and become lovable. As long as that underlying assumption is there, deep, deep conviction that I'm not livable, and it's my own fault. All our best efforts will inevitably fall short because they assume there's something wrong that can be fixed. I just have to find the right tool, or technique, or process. But what if that basic underlying assumption, what if it isn't true? What if it wasn't your fault? What if there's nothing wrong with you, but your parents or your caregivers were just emotionally unable to give you what you needed? Maybe even treated you badly. They were so out of touch and disconnected from their own feelings that they couldn't possibly have taken care of you. Now, you can't imagine that as a young child. It's inconceivable. But you can now as an adult. But just knowing that, accepting it at the level of the mind, is only a start. We're doing this tapping so that the question, what if it's not really true, sinks into the body where this assumption is actually being held. What if there never was anything wrong with you? What if you were lovable and they just didn't know how to love? Now, something inside of us responds to that. Something deep in our hearts knows that's true. Knows there's no such thing as an unlovable child. So just be present with the question, putting it into the body, into the heart, not so much in the mind. Right? Just inviting your nervous system to just open up a touch and consider that. Those deep assumptions get embodied. They get acted out. They are manifested in our behaviors and our character and the beliefs we accumulate about ourselves as we get older. And so an assumption of that depth can appear to be true. There'll be lots of evidence that it's true, even though it's not. We're all aware of this idea of how our thinking manifests in our life, but this is way deeper than thinking. This actually influenced and formed thinking. Thoughts can form to these deep, energetic assumptions. So you can't force this into the body. You simply invite. In tapping, we make it safe, a safe environment for these deeply held and protected assumptions can be brought to light and questioned. What if it's not true? What if I was lovable and they just couldn't love? What if I don't need this assumption anymore? What if I can let go of the fixer and gradually, gently merge into wholeness, innate wholeness, the wholeness that just might have been here the whole time. Because in fact, if it wasn't your fault, if it really wasn't true, then what was true then and is true now is that you are enough. You are lovable. And the body can let go of this means of protecting itself. Let's say thank you to the body. Thank you to the nervous system for taking such good care of me. You had to take on this assumption. It's the only way you could keep me safe. It's the only way you could guarantee I survived. I thank you. And I thank you for considering that maybe it's not true. Opening up and taking a look, seeing for yourself. Is this really true? And if it isn't, just remove from my whole body-mind mechanism the beliefs, the behaviors, the programmed responses, the defense mechanism, everything is no longer needed. Thank you for being so loyal. Thank you for taking such good care of me all these years. Thank you. I love you. All right, stop and take a deep breath. Keep your eyes closed for a moment and just feel into your body what that feels like. As that message between the just the open intention and the tapping, the message got in, at least somewhat. It may not want to release that position all at once. Created it in order to protect you. Little by little, if you do this more often and use meridian tapping as a means of reconditioning the energy, getting it used to the feeling, the message of safety, eventually we'll move out of this and into a sense of a wholeness that doesn't need to be fixed. So whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes, and thank you for joining me on this, and I'll see you on the next video. Namaste.